crazy, dude. Let's get it going. Here we are. We're up and running. We're live. Look who I got. Got that guy right there. He is.
What up,
Mr. Mike McFarland. Hashtag the Lake Fork Guide.
Wait.
If you're watching, he's
the.
This is semantics, people. Here's the deal, though. If you're watching, I want you to comment below. Hashtag the Lake Fork Guide, because he's here tonight, right there. So please drop in the comments. Hashtag the Lake Fork Guide. Let's see who's here already. Kevin Jones, Mojo Fishing, Austin, I can't pronounce your last name, Alan Hickerson. What is going on? Apparently Austin, that I can't pronounce the last name, must have watched on Facebook because it says part 2 LOL. What up, Billy and Mike? Colton Deloach, good to see you. Fred Solis.
Good to see y'all.
Everybody's here, man. We already got the crowd here.
That's awesome.
It don't taste like you turn that thing on and they're like, boy, they on it. Like a bird dog just
cool. Pretty cool. That's
it
like bass
cool.
blowing up on the top water. Mm-hmm. First cast.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Good to see you guys.
Yes, indeed. Well, hey, boys, it is officially hot. Like, I'm talking about hot, Jack. Listen, it was 110 degrees in Alba, Texas today. Sean Andre says, big worm.
Hey, you know how hot it was?
Big perm in the house.
You know how hot it was? It was so hot that all the birds left and went to Arizona today.
They had to get some air conditioning going, man.
What'd he say? Big worm dog? Is that what he said?
Big worm is in the house. It's one of my cousins. It's just a little joke. We talked about that movie Friday where they talking about big perm.
Yeah.
Big perm? You been smoking my stuff, Smokey? You know I ain't smoking your stuff. Anyway, we always talk about Friday on this show for some reason. What's up, Johnny 2K? Well, we got a lot of folks in here tonight.
Yeah,
all right.
That's awesome.
So, like I said, it's hot, guys. The summertime pattern is 100% here. This guy's been jacking them. I mean, wrecking them on fork. And, you know, here's the deal. It's getting so hot that I'm catching fish in that grass, but I'm having to mix in some main lake structure fishing as well. So, doing a little bit of both, doing a little bit of everything, so to speak. So, you're going to see that in my top 5 baits tonight as well. So, let's go ahead and get that started. I bet y'all will never guess what my 2 best shallow water baits are because they've been the same for about 3 months, I think.
Unbelievable. That's consistency right there.
Chatterbait, that's the jackhammer chatterbait with the impact shad. A little bit more of a shad pattern this week. Guys, don't get bent up around the color. You can throw the green ones too. They both are catching them. It's just a reaction bite. But there you go. Jackhammer chatterbait, 1/2 ounce, impact shad 5-inch. That is number 1, the most consistent shallow water bait. Has been ever since we got those rains. If you remember those rains we got a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Ever since that rain come in, for some reason the chatterbait was more consistent than the swim bait. That being said, this bait right here is still getting bit on a day-to-day basis. And every once in a while when they go to kind of really feeding, you know what I'm saying? Like when they jump out and get on the school shad, this is the deal right here. The 4.5-inch Smash Tech Hollow Belly, Owner 5/0 flashy swimmer, hook.
I wonder, did you notice it when the water, you know, that little bit of rain, did the water color change
Yeah.
at all? Do you think that maybe that's why they're more the vibration, they're able to detect?
There was more vibrational chatterbait. It was a little bit off colored when that rain did come through, and I do think that had a lot to do with it. And then as it started clearing back up, they've kind of gone back to where they're kind of hitting both.
Sure.
But they're still hitting the chatterbait better. But like I said, when you see them like visibly chase shad, that's the one you want right there.
That's so awesome. That bait feels so good on a rod.
It's just
you know that bait's swimming.
All right, so now we got Ronnie Kelly says, "Hey, gay boys." R. Kelly, what's up? Good to have R. Kelly in the house as always.
I guess I'm glad I got a good sense of humor.
Yeah,
that's something right there that I'll be in the ground before they ever go there.
Hey, that's all right though. But guess what? The Hollow Belly's making a second appearance tonight. But look here, guys. We got it on that 6-cents Divine swim bait jig head. Got that screw lock on there, saves you a lot of baits. But hey, if you're fishing offshore structure and you're in an open water type area, shell beds.
Yeah.
Hey, that thing will bounce around down on them shell beds, and you just keep a slow roll on it. Keep that head bouncing and banging, and that dude right there gets it done. It will catch. That rig right there, boys, will catch a monster bass right now.
Absolutely. You know, that's something right there that, again, you know, fishermen, we don't know it all. We kind of roll with what's working, but I've overlooked that. That's something that we could be really fishing in some of the patterns that I'm doing right now.
I can tell you, on a video coming up, old Heath Taylor's going to show you exactly what I'm talking about when I say it'll catch a stud, because he caught a daggum biggin on this. We were filming yesterday, actually. So, There you go. That's number one for the deep baits. That's your home run hitter. And then we're going to go to kind of the standbys here. These are the ones that are going to get you bites day in, day out, more consistent than probably anything else out there right now. Number one is 6-inch Divine Shaky Head with a 10-inch red shad. This is a smash worm, old Smash Tech worm right here. But this is the light one. This is a 1/4 ounce one. When it's real calm, I like the 1/4 ounce. When the wind blows, I step up to that 5/8.
For me, it just depends on how shallow the fish are. If they're up on top of the shell beds in the 20, 10, 12, I will go the lighter. I like the fall time.
Yeah.
But when they get in the 20, 25 range, I think the 5/8 chunking through the shells really helps.
Yeah. To me, as long as it's calm, I'll be patient and get that 1/4 ounce down there. You just got to understand this. You got to be real patient to get it down there. But the next thing is probably, this might be the most consistent bite getting bait in the summertime in East Texas of all time. I mean,
I want to tell you anywhere, just about anywhere, this is going to catch fish in the middle of summer.
This is the Smash Tech Bubble Fry on a Carolina rig. Guys, if you don't throw this in the summer, you're wrong. You're just wrong. This catches fish so consistently, and it's just kind of a dumb little bait. I mean, there's nothing. It's a do-nothing bait. It just kind of glides behind the weight, but it gets bit by small to big. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It catches them all. Some people call it caterpillar bait, bubble fry, a lot of different things. There's no doubt that from coast to coast, lakes all across the U.S. in the heat of summer, this is a great way to catch them.
Heath told me yesterday we were fishing. He had a guy up in Michigan catching smallmouth on these things right now.
And smallmouth, great colors too.
It catches. Here's the big deal. Y'all see that hook? That's a little bitty hook. That is a 2/0 or 3/0 round bend hook. That's a big deal. That's going to give that bait more action behind that weight. Make sure you're using that light wire small hook. But there you go. That's the 5 baits, and I know you guys have been dropping some comments in there. I've been watching them roll in, so we're going to try and catch up on some of y'all's questions.
That was 4.
Huh?
Did I miss one? That's 5. I'm sorry.
We did that one.
Ooh, you did 5. Yes, sir.
We did 5.
Bad.
We did 5.
My bad.
I appreciate you keeping me on point.
My bad. I thought you had something special. You was going to pull out even another secret.
Nah, we can't give them all away. We got to keep them coming back next week, bro. All right. Ronnie Kelly says, are y'all talking about clam or oyster shell beds?
Clam beds.
There you go.
They're really, they're not freshwater oysters. They're clam beds. They're the biggest.
Ronnie Kelly also says, why is Mike wearing a scarf? Is it cold?
No, it's a sun deal.
Yeah, he knows. It's Ronnie Kelly. He's being.
I know, and
okay.
You know what? Because I've kind of trended in the show of having it, but you know what, Ron? Actually, anybody watching, I want you guys to pray for me because I didn't show you this, but I have some cancer coming back on my eye.
Oh no!
I already lost half my eyelid. This was some really bad stuff about 5 years ago, and it looks like it might be coming back. So I'm glad you brought that up. I protect myself because of that, but pray for me. I may have some bad cancer right now.
Man. We will. That's awful. I hate to hear that.
I didn't want to talk about that, but I just started having that.
Yeah. There you go, guys. Give him the prayers. You know what we do. We rally around our own around here, so y'all take care of my boy and pray for him. Hey, let's get back to fishing. Are you going to be at Bass Camp? Mike is. I'm not going to be there. I have already got prior engagements, but Mike will be there.
I'll be there all 3 days for the kids, and then each afternoon, some of the boys are going to go to real-time rods and get to build their own rods. They're going to split the boys up for 3 days, and each afternoon I'm doing a Sonar class, a lesson for the kids.
Beautiful. That's awesome, man.
Probably even going to have a little quiz test for them after.
Heck yeah. This might be comment of the year right here. It's only going to be 101 next week. I'm going to wear out that cold front. Thanks for that, 5 Keepers. That's a great comment right there. Have I ever fished Lake Whitney? I have not ever fished Lake Whitney. Have you?
No, sir.
Lake Whitney, it's over there outside of Fort Worth somewhere?
No, sir.
I have not. What hook is that on the swim bait? On the jig head swim bait, that's a 6-cent Divine swim bait jig head, and that one is a 1/2 ounce. I use them up to 3/4 1 ounce, depending on how the wind is doing and everything else. And then on the weedless, that's a 5/0 owner flashy swimmer. Is the one that I'm using around the grass. Have any advice on starting a guide service? I'm in Missouri. Well, I'm going to tell you my piece, and I'm going to let Mike chime in on this because he's been doing it a long, long time. Number one, most important thing is you better love fishing on a next level kind of love. Like, it better be an absolute obsession for you. Like, if you've ever woke up in the morning and thought, man, it sure is going to be hot today, I don't really want to go fishing, or they ain't going to bite today, I don't want to go fishing. If that thought has ever come into your head, don't. Just don't. You got to love it because it will turn into a job. I don't care how much you love it. There will be days you don't want to go because it is your job and you have to go. That's just human nature. So you better love it enough to get through those days.
100%. Here's my best advice for you. Number one, if you're doing it, you have to ask yourself, why do I want to do this? You want to do it because you want to fish. And if you want to do it because you want to fish, it's the wrong reason.
Yeah. Tournament fish.
I just smiled this morning. I was just talking about it. In the past 6 months, yes, I've caught some fish in minutes here, and I get to fish just a little bit. But a really top-notch guide is not there to fish. He's there to teach. He's there to coach. He's there to do some fishing when he has to.
Help others catch more fish. Yeah.
That's right. So that's what you got to ask you. Could you get as much joy or more joy out of watching someone else or teaching someone else how to catch the fish? Then yes, you're meant to be a guide, and there's a lot more to be said on what to do and zigging and zagging and everything from social media to setting yourself up. But I promise you, if you are out there because you want to fish and you begin fishing even 50% of the time, you're going to have problems. You're going to outfish your guys without, I mean, I don't know, I'm not going to burn up the deal. But again, ask yourself, is this about me fishing or them fishing?
Right.
And if you're one that loves to take people fishing, you love to take kids fishing, you follow me and do it.
Yeah, do it. And as far as how to start one up, here's the best advice I can give you. This little box that we're talking to you guys on right here is a big deal these days. And here's the most beautiful part about social media. Anybody, every one of you out there, if you have enough talent, you can do whatever you love to do the most for a job. You don't need to know anybody. You don't need startup capital. All you have to do is document it. You ain't got to worry about making fancy. I don't make fancy videos if you guys ain't noticed. My editing is very simple. I am not a technology savvy guy, and I still manage to get stuff out there. Document what you do, how you do it, be open with the public, and just put it out there. And guess what? If you're good enough, you're going to succeed at it. That's what I did. I was kind of mired in the old school way, and I was getting stuck, in the background because there's so many good guides on Fort. It's unbelievable.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's so hard to stand out from that crowd. But here's the deal. If you're good enough and you start documenting it, people will find you.
Yep.
And that's what happened with me. So utilize social media. Document everything you do with fishing, whether it's preparation the night before, the day of, whatever you can do. Just document everything you do. Put that out there. Let the world judge you. And if you're good enough, bud, you'll be able to do it. There'll be people wanting to fish with you. That's just the way it is.
That's the way it is. When I was 17 years old, my dad used to he had a big corporation, and he used to take about 10 of the executives into the Black River. We'd set up tents. We'd cook for them. And we were full-blown guides. You'd do the driving, take them down river, fish, fillet the fish. And I realized at a really young age that you're really a server. You're catering to people, taking care of people. But I had a love for it.
100% customer service.
If
you're doing it right,
yeah. I had a love for it then, so I knew that someday that was what I wanted to do. Do this, man. Last thing I'll let you roll. Take a couple of your buddies fishing, and don't fish all day. If you enjoy the day, ask yourself wholeheartedly at the end of the day, did I really enjoy that, or did I chew at the bit I wanted to cast? If you can take 2 of your buddies fishing and you loved it, then you're meant to be a guide.
This is a good question for Mike. If you are just scanning large points, would you focus more on side imaging or down?
Long points, a combination of both.
Here's the other part too, and I'm just going to throw this in there and let you run. It's going to depend on how familiar you are with the lake.
Absolutely. So great variance right there, Billy. It depends. If I'm not familiar with the lake, I may use side scanning to just see and get a better image, a 3D image of what I got there. Also, throughout the times of years, there's a time like right now, I know not to drive over my fish anymore. So I'll side scan to see if they're there instead of driving over the top of them.
Good point.
And you kind of learn that by trial and error. But good question. Side scanning for me, unless the fish are suspended up in the upper water column, it's rare for me to look for fish with a side scan. I want a sonar on them because it has the colors, and that allows me to interpret species. Otherwise, my down scan all by itself, I'm not sure what I'm fishing.
Yep. Just a real simplistic way to think about it for me is this. If I'm searching, if I'm looking, I'm using side scan. If I'm verifying, I'm using down.
Sure.
That's just kind of my
combinations. Right now, I don't have 2 graphs on this boat. If I had the luxury of having 2 12s, I might be able to do a little bit of everything all at once. Like I said, I talked about having a left on one screen on a 12 and a right on the bottom that gives you a really much more definition in depth. But not everybody can afford that. I don't even have it on this boat. Again, sometimes just what you're doing, it's really important not to just waste a bunch of time. And you got one sonar, you you're really better off to.
Oh, Edward Johnson kicking in the Super Chat donation. We appreciate that. But Edward Johnson, I saw your comment and question about the lake you mentioned before, and we don't mention that in public. I would greatly appreciate it if you take the name of that lake right on off that comment, edit it, delete it, whatever you got to do, because that's kind of, we don't talk about that lake, and that should tell you all you really need to know about that particular lake. you probably know
it, but I already know what it is.
You know what lake it is.
Get it off here.
We appreciate you, though, Edward. Thank you very much. All right, look, this thing pops the questions down, pops the comments up as they come in. So if you guys asked a question earlier that we didn't get to, please pop it in once again. Mike, what's your best bait right now?
10-inch power worm.
On the shaky head?
On the shaky head.
Yeah.
Pretty soon here, as the water gets up, and it's going to get up this week. It's going to, by the end of the week, and then another 5-6 more days, it's going to be up in the 90s. And I will increase it. I'll go to a 12-inch by September. I'll into.
So the hotter it gets, the better. But
two things: the hotter the water gets, I tend to get larger, and the later the summer, the bigger the things have been growing from spring.
Chad,
so
yeah.
Early
sure,
spring
sure.
Small, and I kind of increase by the time fall gets here. I'm using larger baits.
So yeah, that's cool. But right now for this week, it's a 10-inch power worm
10-inch power
on
worm.
that shaky head. The same. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Caught a 9 on Conroe on that 12-inch worm. Good for you, South Texas Bass, and that's awesome. Conroe's got some big ones. Josh Pickett, you were late again. The top 5 is, I got my same 2 shallow water baits I've been throwing all summer. The chatterbait and the weedless swim bait.
That's so cool.
Smash Tech hollow belly.
Talk about consistency.
And then
all summer.
3 deep baits this week. We got the same hollow belly on a 6-inch Divine jig head. That's your big fish bait out deep for
what's
me.
The weight on that jig head, 3/4?
This one's a 1/2 ounce. I throw them up to 3/4 and 1 ounce, depending on the wind.
Okay.
Depending on the wind, I will go all the way up to 1 ounce. So we got that jig-headed swim bait. We got 10-inch worm that we just talked about on a shaky head. That's a 6-inch Divine shaky head. And I throw as light a shaky head as I can get away with based on the wind. That's the way I do it. And then a Carolina rig with a Smash Tech bubble fry, which is, to me, if you're doing any main lake structure fishing in the summer in East Texas or anywhere in Texas, really anywhere in the country, if it's hot summer and you're main lake structure fishing and that's not on the deck of your boat, you're wrong. That's
the
just
other
my
thing
opinion.
that I like, and I noticed you're doing it on this, is you definitely have a little longer leader.
Yeah.
You want to have that extra time.
I don't go as long as some. I mean, I know some guys, and I know you're probably part of this crowd that go to even 5 and 6 foot leaders. Man, I tend to keep mine somewhere between 3 and 4 foot. For me, that's a long leader. I don't know why. That's just always been the way I've done it. I could be wrong. That's just what
I just
I've done.
noticed for you, because I've been with you a long
Yeah.
time.
For me, that's
this
a long.
is a little
yes.
longer for you.
That one's almost 4 foot.
I
That's
noticed
really
it is.
long. Yeah.
That's what caught my eye. I thought that is a little longer than he typically throws, which is really buying the same thing. A little more time in the water column.
Yep.
A little more. That's
Yep.
what that light wire is really important. That gives those fish that are working those water columns up and down, gives a good time to see it.
Wanted to try a flashy swimmer last night. Is it an effective night bait? It could be with the right swim bait on there. You're going to need a swim bait that moves a lot of water. I like things that move a lot of water at night. I like big bladed spinner baits.
Thumping.
Joe
noise.
Spates makes the best one. It's called Elvis. It's similar to some of the old, what was the name of that old spinner bait? It was great, but it's such a thin wire it would fall apart. But
I know what you're talking about.
it started with an H. Hildebrand.
Hildebrand.
The old Hildebrand spinner bait. It's similar to that, but it's more durable. It's just it's a better mousetrap of the Hildebrand, the one that Joe Spates makes. Anyway, big bladed black spinner baits. I like those at night. I like big 10-inch worms, 12-inch worms on big shaky heads to make them move a little faster, move a little more water. And then something that I like a lot is a buzz bait at night.
Absolutely. You used to throw buzz baits
Like
all night
buzz bait.
long in Arizona. I personally, if I may comment, I don't think this little flashy deal, you're not going to have any light, so you're not going to get any flashing out of it. It's small.
Yeah, and there's no vibration to that to
Very
speak
little.
of. Now, this swim bait alone has some vibration, so
Yep.
it could very well work. I would almost tend to go to some of the swim baits. Like, I would go to the bigger version of this.
Yes.
Because that, to me, that has more vibration than any swim bait on earth.
Yes.
The 6-inch hollow belly.
The big one.
The
big
whole
one,
body
man.
shakes, the tail's getting it.
Absolutely.
So if I was going to throw a swim bait at night, it'd be the 6-inch version of this. I'd throw it on an 8-aught owner beast hook.
Or potentially, I guess, if you were on a lake that had the dock lights, you may get a little flash
Then
out
the
of
flash
this
is
near the dock lights.
If you got underwater lights, if you got these, like on Fork, we got these big green lights. If you got these big underwater lights or big lighted marinas and stuff like that, I'm going to tell you the best bait you can throw. People are going to go, huh? And scratch their head, but it is. It's a flutter spoon.
Huh?
A flutter spoon. You throw a flutter spoon, you swim it around outside of the lights.
Swim it.
Swim it. Like just a medium retrieve, and that thing will whop, whop.
On the outside.
And it'll catch
edge of the light.
It'll catch reflection from that light, and those fish, buddy, they'll about jerk the rod at you.
You want to throw that on the darkest outside edge that you can find.
Best all-around jig trailer, all around, day in, day out. I've got some right over here in electric blue.
You got some.
Okay, yeah.
Got a few.
I got some.
Got a few.
These are sitting in the garage because I don't use electric blue that much in this time of year. I do use Okeechobee Crawl a lot this time of year, though.
You know, when I was about 14, electric blue was one of the most favorite colors I ever had. Electric blue.
Now, in the wintertime, I use this color a bunch, but this one's a little deformed from sitting in that bag for too long. But this is the Smash Crawl by Smash Tech. And just for an all-around, it's got these little, it's not like a Rage Crawl ridge. It's just a little more subtle ridge, but it makes those claws flap. It doesn't have the over-exaggerated flap that the Rage Crawl has. It's just a middle-tier, great profile jig trailer. Smash Crawl by Smash Tech.
Good stuff.
Absolutely. Hair jigs under the lights work well too. That's actually,
absolutely.
I've never thought about that. This is why I love.
Absolutely.
See, guys, this isn't about me teaching you or Mike teaching you or we thinking that we know everything and we're going to teach you something. This is about a community sharing information and helping each other because, like, I've never thought to throw a hair jig at night around the underwater lights, but that's a great idea.
Awesome idea.
Yeah, I love it.
Idea. Super lifelike, man. Woo! Great idea. 100%.
All the bass in my local lakes around 1.5 pounds. Any tip on how to catch the bigger bass? Well, you may have some smaller lakes especially will get a stunting issue where all the bass will kind of get locked into the same size. When there's too many bass in the lake, what happens is when there's an overpopulation of bass, they all eat the right size bait for them before the bait can grow and before they can grow, and they just run out of the right size food to help them grow, and so all the bass become the same size. That does happen sometimes, especially in smaller lakes. In ponds, it's a major issue.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you've got a stunting issue. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But as far as trying to isolate a bigger bite, I'll tell you 2 things right now to put in your hand and just leave in your hand, and whatever's the biggest thing in there at some point, at some time, you're going to tangle with him if you throw these 2 things. One is a jig, the other is a swim bait. If you throw a jig and a swim bait, Bubba, at some point you're going to find the biggest fish in that pond.
If you stick with a brim pattern too, your bigger fish tend to key in more on brim.
Yeah,
green
and brown jigs. On swim baits, I like that light hitch color better than anything else, but yeah, you could definitely throw a green pumpkin type of swim bait.
Good question. More applicable in a lake than a pond. A lot of times ponds are very much just like cattle. If you have 1 acre, you can grow 2 cows to 2,000 pounds apiece. If you put 10 cows in there, then you're going to have 500-pound cattle. So the ponds vary. If you realize that they're not growing real big in there, you can put your own food in there. You can go get some brim. Try and get a life source of brim that you feed the brim with a feeder. The brim get big, your bass will get big.
So, tips for ponds this weekend: water level normal, sunny, 100. Yeah, we know the weather's going to be hot and sunny. We know that. So, tips for Lake of the Ponds. I'm going to tell you what I would do. The first thing I would do is I would go up north and I would have a frog in my hands, probably a swim jig or that weedless swim bait that I throw, similar to what I'm doing on Fork. And I would start my morning up north and try to find some grass that relates to the main channel out there and fish those edges first thing in the morning. They'll get out from under that grass mat early and hunt those edges. That's what I would do early. And then if I was getting bit on that, I would stay with it and I would switch to punching, right? I just get deeper in the grass. I throw that weedless swim bait and I punch deeper in that grass the later the day got. If I didn't get a lot of bites or if the bite shut off, but I'm tired, I'm going the other end. I'm going all the way south. Something out at the mouth of Alley Creek, Johnson Creek, down around the dam, stuff like that. I'm going to find main lake points. I'm going to look for hard bottom content on my sonar, and I'm going to throw that Carolina rig bubble fry for all she's worth. Maybe throw the shaky head as well. That would be my game plan going to ponds. And I haven't been there. I have no clue. I have no information. That's just what I would do.
Same to the T. I'd probably, because I'm not as...
You probably start down south.
I would start somewhat I would go ahead and start with my strengths, which is breaking down the deep water down south, and I would probably pack.
The phone gets hot. I think that's the problem. Let's go, Signal. Come back. Oh, hey.
There we are. There we are.
We made it back,
Hey,
folks.
man, that's like losing a big bass and turns around and bites again.
Yeah. Woo. Can you do some videos with topo and satellite image analysis on different lakes around the country? Would be interested in how you break down new water before you've been there. I actually did one like that for the early pre-spawn, and I meant to do more as the season went on. I just got busy and kind of slipped my mind. Definitely need to revisit that because that was a really cool video. I basically took Google Earth and the Navionics web app and just pulled up a lake I'd never been to and started identifying areas where I would start. That's a great idea. You know what? I'll do that. You know what, Mike? I think maybe that'd be a good idea. You could do one on your Facebook page. And for you guys that don't know, Lake Fork Adventures Guide Service on Facebook. Please go follow that. Like and follow that. That's Mike's page. He does a lot of instructional content there as well. Also on Instagram, Mike, what is it? Mike McFarland?
The Lake Fork Guide now. Just change it to the Lake Fork Guide. So, yeah,
there you go. The Lake Fork Guide on Instagram. Follow him there. He puts up videos. He puts up pictures. Good follow there as well. And so we're going to continue to work to get better at bringing you guys more instructional content. We love suggestions like that.
Yes.
I need to get back on that. That's my fault. That's a lack of paying attention to what I'm doing on my part. I need to get back on doing some of those, lake breakdown using the old interweb.
Here's what I think is perfect is if you'll do what you're talking about, the topo, give them some of that angle. Mm-hmm. I have just 2 days ago I decided that I'm going to share how I've broken down Lake Fork. I zoomed out on my graph, and believe it or not, my Navionics, when you zoom out on your Navionics, you'll see all your contours. You can't see anything but writing. I have 1,500 detailed waypoints, breaks, ledges, all. And anyways, quickly enough, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about that, some of my live shows, some of the non-live shows, and teach you by an example of how I have actually marked and notated my understanding and breakdown of the water, and you'll get a lot out of that.
I'm laughing at Ben Shove's comment. It's a Marine Corps thing, so unless you were in the Marine Corps, you probably wouldn't get it. But he says, I don't blame you. I blame your drill instructors. Hey, Ben, you'll appreciate this. And for those of you who don't know, I used to be in the United States Marine Corps about, 60 pounds ago or whatever it was. But, one of our things we used to do that would really just upset the leadership was when we would do something stupid or we'd get in trouble. Somebody got drunk over the weekend, get in trouble out in town. And they'd be, just chewing out the whole platoon as one. We'd just say, hey, I'm a direct reflection of my leadership, Sergeant. And when you tell them that, it's kind of tough because they got to go, they want to just go knee deep in your rear end, right? But at the same time, they got to go, well, that's me, and that's kind of true. So, well, hey,
it's pretty good.
Ben, I'm just a direct reflection of my leadership. That's all it is, brother.
Right. That's right. Some good questions tonight.
Yeah, it's a great crowd. One time we had almost 40 people watching live. That's phenomenal.
Wow.
Ben Shove's laughing. He's dying. He's crying. Hey, Billy, I've been throwing a half-ounce jackhammer chatterbait. I've caught dozens of fish, and now they're throwing the hook. Do I need to switch out, or can the hook be sharpened? The hook can be sharpened. I'll show you my preferred way to do it. I have had the same experience with a jackhammer where I literally wore the hook dull. Now, after you've sharpened it about 2 or 3 times, you got to throw it in trash. But at that point, you will have caught hundreds of bass, and it is worth the $20. Yeah. Keep them entertained. Talk about something for a minute. I'm going to go dig my hook sharpener out of my boat real quick.
I'll tell you that on that jackhammer, it's real funny. About at least 6 months ago, I went ahead and bought a whole bunch of them. And the reason being is my source, my West Coast source people and things really, I have a lot of faith in them, and they really mentioned to me that you're going to see a difference. You're going to see a 5-to-1 difference, a 10-to-1 difference, and those of you that are beginning to throw it, it is true. It's the original Phoenix chatterbait, which they had some controversy with chatterbait. So worked with Z-Man through
License to patents.
So now you really have that B-hype killer, the Brett Hype Phoenix chatterbait back in 2007, 8, 9, 10 when he was just on a rampage. It's what it is. It's made with more quality. It's made right out of Japan. That's all I got to say. It is worth it. It outfishes the other baits, and that's what you got to ask yourself. If I'm gonna spend $5,
I'm sorry, dude.
if I'm gonna spend $5 and catch a fish, or if I'm gonna spend 20 and catch more fish, if that bait's gonna outfish the other bait, then it's worth the $20.
Sorry, I was trying to toss it to you.
He's tossing me one of my favorite colors.
I forgot that we were on live show there for a second.
This is one of my favorite colors. I just go ahead and share it with you. I like to share stuff. Tank's perch right there in the sand tone. This is a 5/8 ounce. I love the 3/4 and the 1 ounce. But
I don't know why I tossed it at you. I kind of forgot we were on live show there.
She knows that's one of my favorite colors.
All right, so I've just got a regular old swim bait hook, belly weighted swim bait hook, but I'm going to show you. This is a sharpening rod.
For nice.
Yeah,
That's
well,
cool.
it is.
That's simple.
But it works great because it's round, and it works great on the hook point, because what you can do is you can take a hook point that you need to sharpen, and you just kind of hit all sides of it.
Nice.
You just take it like this right here. You just go all the way around. You just put light pressure and just stroke it up to the point.
Hey, that's pretty easy.
And you can turn it around on the inside right here. Make sure you start at the barb. You got to be careful when you're on the inside because you don't want to roll your barb. Get right above the barb and just push it out. And flip it around to the same.
I got about 100 of those at home.
Flip around to the same thing on this side right here.
If I bring them over tomorrow, I got about 100 of them. Will you sharpen them all for me?
No.
Hey, you know what though?
But anyway, when your jackhammer chatterbait gets dull, get you a sharpening rod and just run that over. It works really well.
Check this out. You know what just hit me like a ton of bricks?
What's that?
What hit me in the nose like a 5/8 ounce jig, but then it hit me like a ton of bricks. What color? What color are we talking about? Those brim coming out of the water. Really kind of orangey, rosy.
Orangey red, yeah.
When you just kind of quickly look
Yeah,
at
it's
it,
orangey, yeah.
orangey, rosy.
Yeah.
No wonder that's one of my favorite colors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at it quick down here. Just look at it.
Oh, no. I got you. It's there. Say again where to find Mike's instructional videos. Mike, he does his on Facebook, and it's at Lake Fork Adventures Guide Service. You need to like and follow that page, and it'll give you notifications every time that he posts. When he just does something, a picture or whatever, it'll post it in your newsfeed, but when he goes live, it'll actually ping you just like the YouTube does.
Thank you. Appreciate that very much,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you.
I inherited my first reel boat. It's an old 16-foot high-sided aluminum that needs some love, but I may be rolling up on you a little higher off the water than I have been. Because Ben's he had a kayak. He was a kayak guy for a long time.
Nice. That's still enough.
What is the deal with Lake? Well, Edward, I'm not even going to say the letter that you're posting. The deal is that I love that lake, and I don't want to tell anybody what it's called. And half of you probably know what lake I'm talking about, and I greatly appreciate your shared silence because it is a small lake. And while I love all of you, I don't need 100 of you on my 800-acre pond that I love so much. When I don't fish Fork, that's usually where I go. Like if I have an extreme wind situation, I'll even take customers there. If it's extremely windy and we don't want to navigate Fork in that wind, we'll actually go to that lake.
Absolutely.
Because it's got giant bass in it.
That's real funny that you said.
For all you guys that are figuring out what lake it is, I'm probably running that lake right now. But, you know, part of the deal. Hope y'all enjoy it. It's all right. Let's get the signal back. Oh, no. What did I do?
Did my life so great?
Yeah. It's because it's on this phone. Almost back. Ben Shope said, hashtag Tupperware Captain no more. That's the guy that used to have a kayak. Tupperware Captain. That's great.
I got to use that. I love it.
The old Tupperware Captain.
Tupperware cap.
That's
fishing in that old
phenomenal.
Tupperware. I got to use that someday. I got some clients that fish out of that. They come out with me every now and then. They love the boat. They say, I'm going to tell them you're going back to that old Tupperware.
What weight of the jackhammer am I? Right now I'm throwing the 1/2 ounce jackhammer more than anything. Hey guys, I know y'all are still asking questions. I want to answer all of them, but unfortunately at some point we do have to go. We have trips in the morning. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But Mike, thank you for coming on and hanging out with us tonight. Bud.
So nice to be here.
Lake Fork.
The Lake Fork Guide. And then
On Facebook, Lake Fork.
Facebook is Lake Fork Adventures
Guide Service. Lake Fork Adventures Guide Service on Facebook.
Sure appreciate
The
it.
Lake Fork Guide on Instagram. Y'all check him out, follow him. That's my buddy right there, man. That's my boy.
Appreciate you all, man, so much. Hey, dude, I had the most awesome freaking home cooked meal tonight. Wow. It was.
I mean, I'm built this way for a reason, bro.
Dang.
My old lady took
Missing
good care of mine.
I've been missing out a long time.
Hey, thank you guys so much. More than anything else, look, end of the show, we got 41 people still here. Thank y'all so much for watching live. For those of you that are watching after the fact, hey, we love y'all and appreciate you too. Drop that comment below. Be sure to comment hashtag the Lake Fork Guide for my boy. Let him know you appreciated him joining us. And we'll see you guys next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.